Hi, this is Rich from the National Center for Appropriate Technology. This video features County Rail Farm's approach to pre-harvest food safety procedures, as well as food safety considerations before, during, and after harvest.
So just going down, workers are trained and practicing good hygiene. So put the date, check that off. Hand washing stations are stocked and clean. We just checked them, check that off. Harvest containers are clean. They were washed on Monday and they're on a pallet over there behind Hans. Check. Harvest tools and machinery is clean and in good working order. So we use this greens harvester that was washed on Monday and was checked on Monday as well, but usually just make sure that the blade is working, that everything looks like it's tight, and make sure that I have my food grade lubricant. So this is the harvest bucket that I usually take out. Has clean knives, rubber bands for other things. This is the lubricant that I use, and some gloves. Take that up with us. Harvest areas are checked for signs of contamination, so I'll actually do that when we go out, and I'll walk down and make sure that everything is clean and that we don't have any bird poop. Basically, is primarily what we're looking for out there. We don't have a lot of deer pressure here, but if we see any kind of sign, then we note that and don't harvest that area. And then the next thing on the checklist is if contamination was evident in areas where areas were marked for no harvest and noted below. So when we go out there, we'll note that if we see anything. And that's it. So like on here I have our greens cutter needed repairs, so I noted that on here, and then when it was repaired, and last week I skipped some arugula that was burnt, it was damaged, so I noted that on here too.
Can we?
Okay. So normally we would have our truck out here for harvest, and the totes that we aren't harvesting into stay in the shade. Things get really hot out here. Usually it's not this hot, but and then any totes that we are done harvesting into go directly into the truck in the shade or next to the truck in the shade, and then back to the warehouse as soon as possible. With this machine, we're able to harvest all of our greens, so up to direction I'm going here. We're harvesting about 200 pounds a harvest day right now, and we can do that in a little over an hour. About an hour and a half, really. Yeah. But that includes like being halfway down the bed and then walking back to the truck and getting another tote. And most of that time is actually walking back and forth and switching batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tracy would usually do this on the truck tailgate.
Yeah.
As the food safety manager or whatever I am, I'm going to point out that she shouldn't have put it on the grass. Set it down like in the garden, because that's like technically the clean.
This is our salad over here, and the arugula is all under remay over there. So normally what I would do is walk down the entire bed up and back and just make sure that there's no contamination in that I see. And right this second, I would say we shouldn't harvest right now because it's too hot. The greens are already starting to wilt a little bit, but for this purpose, we're going to ignore that. And otherwise, see some grasshoppers, but nothing else seems to be an issue for this area. Notice that I'm stepping on the bed that we just harvested. We don't harvest again, so that's acceptable. If we were going to harvest again, I would have to come to the other side and not step on the greens that were just harvested, but because this will get tilled under in a week, we don't worry about it. And it's also as we go down to the bed. Usually this tote will follow directly behind me, so it's not on the path where we've been walking back and forth for many days and where the dogs have probably been walking back and forth. Instead, it's on this bed that is theoretically clean, even though it's all dirt. The where the produce was harvested from is cleaner than anywhere else, according to food safety. And that's that. So now we have our salad, and I'll usually go through and, like, you can see there are some little bits of greens that are no good that you can pull out. Again, it's really wilty right now, but this gets folded up. Usually it would go into the shade next to the truck. Today we're just going to put it back in the cart and walk back to the warehouse. Today's the harvest day for us. We need to wash out totes that we've used for market and sanitize them. For those, we'll spray it, but then we'll rinse it again before we put fresh product into it. If it's not going to have time to dry, we'll rinse it again.